Hi, I'm Katie Main, and today we're talking to owner and director of And Action Films, Ron Witt, actress Sarah Eibold, who plays Janet Macke, and actress Melissa Fox, who plays Pearl Bryan in the upcoming film, Hell's Gate. Thank you guys all so much for being here today.
No, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Awesome. So Ron, is this your first experience directing a film?
It is. It's the feature film debut.
And when is the feature film debut of Hell's Gate?
It'll be Halloween weekend at Carnegie in Newport.
Wow, that'll be a very scary weekend.
Indeed.
Absolutely. So let's just cut to the chase. Please tell us about Hell's Gate.
Well, it's based on the literary work of Doug Hensley, and actually the book is the foundation for the entire trilogy, but it predates everything that is now Bobby Macke's music world.
Oh, interesting.
And explains the history of what are now current events, explains how everything has transitioned to current and modern day.
Sounds very interesting, and it's very cool that there's a local tie here for everybody
Exactly.
that lives in Cincinnati. So now I understand that funding for independent films can be challenging. How was that for you, and how did you overcome that obstacle?
Funding was a pleasant fiction for this movie. And Action Films, the company, all the cameras, sound, everything came from there. And of course, the legend himself, Bobby Macke, was bent over backwards to give us the location. He was excited as I was. So we shot everything on location, and of course, the talent, Sarah Eibold, Tom Bodley, Missy Fox, Mike Flincham, all of them, that's where everything comes from.
That's wonderful. So I understand that you direct and produce this film.
Correct.
Which was the bigger challenge?
Probably producing, I'd say. Definitely
Really?
producing.
Why
yes.
is that?
Multitasking, just trying to make, it's just a glorified term for babysitting. Making a lot of phone calls, making sure people know what they're doing, when they're doing it, feeding the cast, crew, getting everything set. It's enormous.
I can only imagine. And I understand men aren't too great at multitasking anyhow. So.
This one is.
Well, you must be, obviously. Casting can oftentimes be difficult. How was the process here?
Casting was actually, I would have to tip my hat to Missy on that one. She was my angel of casting. I have to give credit to her on that.
That's wonderful. Well, let's move on to one of our actresses. Sarah, is this your first leading role in a film?
Yes, it is.
And how'd you get the role? Did you have to audition, or what was that like for you?
No, I didn't really audition. I just came down to the set and met Ron, and we had a discussion, and I kind of resembled Janet so much that he just asked me if I would be interested, and of course I was, so I couldn't
That's
pass
incredible.
it up.
So
Yeah.
how excited were you when you got the call that you got the role?
Oh my gosh, I went straight home and was going through clothes, because we used our own clothes and things like that. So I was so excited. I couldn't believe it.
That's really awesome to just be able to connect with such a local and well-known story. What was that like, recreating her?
Oh, well, from the very moment I purchased the book and started reading it, I respected her as a mother. I'm a mother. And then just what she went through in her story, I just respected her as a person and what she actually had to endeavor. So it was pretty easy connecting with her.
So just between us, this was your first time working with Ron, correct?
Yes, yeah.
How'd he do?
He's great. He is. Being so fresh, this was something new for me, so I just kind of risked everything and just went for it. Without him, it wouldn't have been as easy. I wouldn't have been able to pull it off. So he was very motivating, easy to be around, patient, very patient. And it meant a lot because you already had so much pressure. The last thing you needed was to feel like you weren't going to be able to do it. So
let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer for Hell's Gate.
It is a place of evil.
There has to be a logical explanation.
There's no logical explanation! You don't understand what I just went through!
You've already done Pearl such terrible things. Why don't you just stay away from her?
Pearl Bryan was killed in Fort Thomas off the Alexandria Turnpike. Her spirit roams searching for her head in the old slaughterhouse. Some years later, a cabaret dancer, Johanna, stabbed her heart. She took the life of her father, herself, and her unborn child out of vengeance for the murder of her lover, Robert Randall. She vowed never to leave until Robert Randall returned.
It's Bobby's name. Robert Randall Macke.
Yeah, I was just telling your wife this place had a history like you wouldn't believe.
You're not gonna have to worry about that with this place. They're gonna have good, positive people in here.
We can do it somewhere else.
Shut up! Just shut up! We're not doing it somewhere else.
Bobby, what's going on?
I'm not liking what I'm hearing because
I
it
don't like
sounds to
what
me
I'm
like...
telling you.
Like,
You think I'm gonna make this up?
What? Janet, this place is not haunted. I have seen and heard nothing.
Janet, this place is haunted.
What was it like recreating her character?
I was nervous because her hometown, which is over in Indiana, she is very, very well known there. So me portraying someone who is an ancestor of that town was very difficult because she reminds me a lot of myself.
In what way?
She was a Christian leader. I'm a Christian leader. She's just a wonderful, down-the-earth person. I'm a wonderful, down-the-earth person. And, you know, people get mixed up in a lot of things and make mistakes. And, you know, everyone does make mistakes. And I've been down that road and, you know, have traveled so many different ways. But she's just so amazing. I mean, I don't even know how to describe her.
I'm so excited to see this film. Wow, it sounds incredible. Sean Hammonds, the Nashville recording artist, plays one of the murderers, Alonzo Walling. What was it like working with him?
Oh, goodness.
Uh-oh.
My favorite part working with Sean was when he was attacking me because he had to choke slam me. And I tell you what, we did that so many times, and it hurt a couple of times, but it was his fault.
It was Ron's fault?
But he's amazing to work with. He's very, very genuine. You know, it's hard to see him playing as one of the murderers in the film because he acts so like mean and tough in the film, and then on the outside he's like all goofy. You know, so it's really difficult.
So this sounds like a very physical role.
Yeah.
How was it for you recreating these really horrific events that happened?
I did everything that she went through. I rolled down a hill. I ran in 0-degree weather with no coat on, just, you know, the outfit that my mom actually made for the film. And I did everything. I even played with an actual knife, and they accidentally cut my hand open. She got her hand gashed open in real life, and that actually happened to me on accident. But, you know, everything she went through, I did it straightforward, just like she did.
Wow. That's really incredible. So Ron mentioned that this was part of a series. Will you be involved in films 2 and 3? And
Of course.
That's wonderful.
Of course.
Of course, no brainer. All right, so this is just, you know, whoever wants to give their thoughts, just chime in. Is Bobby Mackey's really haunted?
Yes,
Yes.
unquestionably.
How so? Did anything paranormal or strange happen when you guys were shooting?
I heard more than I saw. I did see something, but not while we were filming. But heard more than we saw. It was nothing out of the ordinary. But I think the ladies have better stories than what mine are going to be.
What, did you guys hear odd
I
sounds
just,
or ghosts or what?
when I was expecting in a part of the film, actually pretend as Janet, but in real life I was too, and he caught an image on camera that had touched my belly. It just kind of gently wrapped its fingers around my stomach. But more than anything, I just realized this about a month ago, now that the film has come back into our lives, and the very first day I ever filmed on set, Ron and I were just kind of playing around with some special effects, and I had to dab a red paintbrush on a mirror and let it drip. Like, we did it probably 50 times, and he had a 2-inch drop of blood on this mirror, and we just kept wiping it and dripping it. And the next morning I was mopping the kitchen floor, and I had a white t-shirt on, and my mom says, "Why are you bleeding?" And I said, "Where am I bleeding?" Well, I had down the middle of my spine, between my shoulder blades, was a drop of blood 2 inches long, and it had soaked through my shirt. Well, when I went to the mirror and I looked at that, it just shocked me, because I had seen this drop of blood 50 times the night before. And I thought, oh my gosh, I even took a picture of it with my digital camera, because I thought, nobody is going to believe this.
Exactly.
Because he wiped it off, you know, my back, and there was no scar, no scab, nothing. Well, then my very last day filming on set was the day we had a guest on set, Patricia Michelle. She's the medium, and she was doing her reading and doing her part for the movie, which was all real, by the way, and that was very mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe we were standing there watching her, you know, speak to spirits and things like that. So that made it very real, but I got about 5 minutes to speak with her, and she told me if I ever felt in danger to picture a white cross over top of whatever I might be afraid of, and it would protect me. So our cars actually got broken into that day on set in the parking lot at Bobby's, and we had to go up to the gas station, sweep the glass out of the car. Well, while Tom, who plays Carl, was sweeping the glass out of my car, I walked around the car a couple times, and one time I walked around the back of the car, and there was a white rosary hanging on the machine, and I just stopped in my tracks, and I gasped, because I could have fell to the floor. I just was like, oh my gosh. And he's like, what? And I just pointed to it, and I said, what do I do with this? Do I take it? Do I leave it? Why did she tell me this? And why is this thing hanging on a sweeper machine? And it's, I took it, and I kept it, and I have it, so.
So something strange.
I mean,
is
you know,
going
it could
on
all
there.
be coincidence, I guess, but.
Right. Who knows? Well, it's
very
very
odd.
intriguing nonetheless.
Exactly.
So when does production begin on the next film?
After the new year.
Okay, great. Well, good luck with that. Where can our fans check updates, and is there a website that everybody can kind of log on to?
They can visit hellsgate-movie.com
Okay.
for it's the official site, and they may, I'd say closer to Halloween, follow up on Carnegie Event Center's website as well.
That sounds great. Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it, and I can't wait to see the film.
Very good.